So I've been counting down the days for this one. The brand new Acqua di Gio Parfum has officially arrived. Kind of. So if you look, at least here in the US and I believe Canada as well, not officially launched. So it's not on any retailers. It's not on the official Giorgio Armani website. But I did purchase this from Canada. I did not buy it from overseas. And where did I get it from? I actually bought it from Fragrance By. So it was one of those crazy instances where they were able to get it in and sell it before it's officially launched here, which is really, really cool because I was already able to get it for a discounter, and so were a lot of you guys. I sent out an email as soon as it came into stock. It sold out pretty quickly. They had the 125s and the 75s, and then it came back for round 2 a few days ago. Similar deal, sent out another email, and it sold out not too long after. So I believe as it sits right now, it's out of stock. It's really hard to time videos for, in-stock items, and oftentimes they sell out so quick anyway. But what you can do is hit the first link down below and sign up for email alerts. As soon as it comes back or any other great deal comes into stock, I will notify you. Or if you want, you can also send a text to the number down below and get text notifications as well, or in replacement of email if you would prefer that way instead. That's something new that we're just rolling out because it's been highly requested, and I believe that'll probably be your best bet for really getting that notification straight to your home screen on your phone if you sign up for those texts. Just text the number, you can text anything over, and you'll be signed up. And as you could imagine, as someone who has loved Acqua di Gio Profumo for years, and it's really been one of my all-time favorite designer scents. As soon as I saw word of a parfum, I was just through the moon excited. So finally, I'm going to check it out, and we're going to see how they smell, how they compare. And officially, I think Profumo has been discontinued. I saw where it was added to the no longer in production or discontinued section of the Armani website. So yeah, and also just with this parfum, I think it is made official now. They're going towards the refillable bottles. So if you look on the side of this one, you've got a little graphic there, kind of out of whack here exposure, but they're refillable just like the Eau de Parfum. And I don't know if Profondo is or not. It might be, but it might not be. Can't remember. So here is our bottle. Got a nice sharp gradient going on. Doesn't quite have as dark of a look. Well, maybe it does actually. It's just more of a matte look. So kind of, as you can see on camera, it's more dramatic, but this is a matte kind of black, whereas this one's more, what would you call it, opaque, with more of a shine to it. I really don't know. I'm not good with that. But then it kind of goes down to just a clear bottle on the bottom. Nice little gradient there. You'll notice Profumo, magnetic, and for whatever reason, they're going over to snap caps with all of these new bottles. It's nothing new, but it is kind of unfortunate. But just a small price to pay. One thing that is new is the Giorgio Armani logo is stamped onto the top atomizer there. That is something that all of the old bottles did not have. They're just smooth. So took away the magnetic, but they give you a little logo there. Just a trade-off, I suppose. Atomizer feels the same. Alrighty, yeah. Very much reminiscent of Profumo. One thing that I will say, though, is that grassy green kind of opening that you get from Profumo, and that is very much a love or hate, is brought back a little bit here. And, I have said this since the very beginning. The opening of ADG Profumo is not my favorite. I have loved that scent for years, but I'm very open with the fact that I don't like the opening. It is grassy and green, and it's a little bit sharp. The magic is in the dry down with that one, and that's important because the dry down is the longest lasting part of the scent anyway. The opening is rather fleeting. That grassy greenness goes away pretty quickly, but it's one thing where I really don't start enjoying the scent until it settles down. Happy to kind of notice here that it is brought back in Profumo or Parfum, and by brought back I mean it's toned back substantially. It's still there a little bit of that sharpness, but nowhere near the extent of Profumo, which for me is a plus. Some people may have grown to like that about it, so maybe that's a negative for you, but I think ultimately that'll be a positive. The opening is just more smooth, I find. One thing that I can say, though, is that it is starting to get into some of that patchouli kind of earthiness. You're still getting the C notes. You're still getting that aquatic DNA in here. But what I do find is that it kind of is taking like a Acqua di Gio Profumo special blend twist, and I'll show you what I mean. I've got a bottle. I wish I would have bought as many as I could have afforded back in the day, which wouldn't have been very many, which is why I only have one. But yeah, Profumo special blend. Maybe some of you remember it, maybe some of you don't. They essentially were using a quote-unquote different type of patchouli. Now, whether that's true or it's just marketing, I really wouldn't put it past them either way. What I will say, though, special blend, there is a difference, and it has been a more smooth version, a little bit more rich as well, and also notably special blend as well kind of backed off on some of that grassy green opening. And so it kind of reminds me of that just a little bit, not 100%, but if you were to compare it to something else, it would kind of go in that direction. Ultimately, to me, just Profumo, the DNA, but a little bit more refined. It's like they've had this one out on the market for years at this point. It has sold and done very well. It's gotten a ton of hype. They took that and they kind of improved on it. And ultimately what I see here is a simplification of the Acqua di Gio line, because like most designer brands, the flankers have snowballed. There are so many out there just in the Acqua di Gio line itself. And now they're really narrowing it down to an eau de toilette, which is the flagship, an eau de parfum version, and now a parfum. And yeah, we still have stuff like Profondo and Absolute, and there's stuff like Profondo Lights, Absolute Instinct, which are a little bit more specialty kind of limited edition items, but you do see what they're doing. They really are trying to kind of make it a little bit more digestible for the masses. I think we can figure it out a lot easier than the people who just stroll into department stores and smell stuff and buy, right? It's going to be a little bit more confusing for them. So now they have ADT, EDP Parfum, and then maybe a Profondo is like a little more of a eau fresh type of deal going on, is maybe how you could look at it. But that's kind of what I see. Profumo, but a little bit more refined and ultimately just kind of a rebrand here. Let's take a look at the note pyramid. Interesting. We've got marine notes and bergamot up top, nothing new. Rosemary, clary sage, and geranium in the mid. Olibanum and patchouli in the base. Now, I'm not seeing any incense, no big deal. I think the olibanum's kind of going to give off a little bit of a bright citric smokiness a little bit. The patchouli for sure picking up on that, and that's kind of where some of that Profumo comparison is coming from. Now, you'll see the rosemary, clary sage, geranium mid, aromatic mid, that's coming from the EDP, that's coming from Profondo, and you're kind of getting remnants of those into this one as well. Now, Profumo had some of that geranium. They've got some of the aromatics going on, but I do feel like maybe they are brought to life a little bit more in the Parfum to make it fit in with that EDP and that Profondo flankers. And then the top, there isn't much of anything to talk about there. Marine notes, bergamot, very standard across pretty much the entire range of Acqua di Gio scents. But it ultimately does have that Acqua di Gio aquatic DNA that we have come to know and love for 20 plus years now. Okay, so this one is officially a parfum, and this is something that I think people have debated for years, but so is Profumo. Acqua di Gio Profumo is also a parfum. It says so right on the bottle, bottom of the bottle, Acqua di Gio Profumo Parfum. There's always been some confusion around that, but it is true. This is a parfum, so we're not moving anywhere in terms of concentration. It is staying a parfum. Now, so far, so good. I would hope it wouldn't have worn off within 9 minutes, but I can see this one doing well. Another thing is Profumo has kind of been rumored to have been watered down over the years. Performance has been decreased. So I think the parfum might provide a fresh start for people who have had issues with the performance of newer bottles of Profumo. I mean, looking on Fragrantica, you can only take this with a grain of salt, but the longevity is kind of favoring in the long-lasting section here on their chart. And Sillage is Moderate, which is kind of on par. Profumo itself has never been a huge projection monster. It's more so been a scent trail lever, and I think that's probably what this one will do as well. But yeah, I just view this as Profumo refined and simplified for the sake of the Acqua di Gio flanker series. Now, that begs the question, And by the way, also, the bottles are the same, except for you do lose that bottom little plate, that plastic plate on Profumo that older bottles had. You don't have that on here. They kind of really are simplifying and cheapening up the presentation as well, but that's beside the point. Should you be upset that Profumo is discontinued? I don't think so, because we have this now. You guys know I am a backup bottle freak. I have so many backup bottles of Profumo to the point it's completely maddening. I was prepared for this moment of Profumo being discontinued, but luckily they're kind of just reviving it into the Parfum. And so for me, if all of my bottles of Profumo were gone and I had the Parfum, I would be happy. Would it be exactly the same? No, but I could more than live with it. That's how close they are. It's not a big deal. Do I think it's worth grabbing a backup bottle of Profumo if you like it and it's something you enjoy? It might not hurt, just so you have that nostalgic bottle, that just kind of older school true Profumo smell. But at the same time, don't beat yourself up over it too bad. If you can snag a new bottle of the Parfum for below retail, it's a great one to pick up for sure. I'm excited. I love it. It smells great. That grassy green opening being kind of deadened here in this one is a big positive for me as well. I'm sure performance is going to hold up, though we'll have to see. And if it does, that's another big plus. Again, I will drop a link to this one down below. Make sure you get on that mailing list. You will get first dibs of when this does come back into stock. And also, if you want text updates on deals, restocks, things like that, send a text to the number down below. You could sign up for both and you will get both, and it's kind of a double, chances of you actually being able to get the products before they're sold out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.